than just business news, we're news for business people.
It's a very special series that we are trying to get to our viewers. Gentleman needs no introduction. Kenneth Andrade joining us on our special series, Alpha Models.
We look for business opportunities which exist on the ground with low capacity utilization. An industry which is not really in the pink of its health. Businesses which are reasonably growing slowly and consolidating. And hopefully at that point in time, valuations are in our favor. We need to compound earnings, and valuations have also to step up. So you get higher earnings plus you get higher valuations, and your outcome is a compounding of capital.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Went Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning. I'm Agam Vakil, and here are the top headlines of this hour. It's muted cues for Indian benchmark indices. India VIX remains little changed, but open interest increases in Shriram Transport Finance and PTC India as traders take fresh positions in their respective futures. And Divi's Labs gains more than 17% in trade after US FDA import alert on its plant has been taken off, and Bajaj Auto sales for the month of October meet analyst expectations. Total sales grow 7% during the previous month. And shoemaker Khadim, India's 554 crore IPO opens for subscription today.
All right, let's take a look at the futures and options market. What is trending there? Well, after closing at record high levels for Nifty and Bank Nifty, today seems to be a muted start, but it looks like there is a bit of consolidation which is taking place right now. But the good news is, once again, India Volatility Index today has a bit of cool off is what we've seen there as well. That's the Nifty 50 for you right now, trading in the positive at levels of 10,444. The futures are trading at a premium of 19 points. Remember, yesterday's premium was over 30 points, so pretty much telling you that at higher levels, maybe the traders are not too comfortable taking those fresh longs. The India VIX, as I was talking, is below the level of 12, so that's down almost 1.5% after tumbling nearly 3% in yesterday's trade. In terms of options data, what's happening on the Nifty strikes? Clearly, yesterday we saw a lot of put writing coming at levels of 10,400, and yesterday was the first time when Nifty surpassed that mark, so that's clearly telling you that near-term range, because if you look at the premium on the 10,400 strike, it's somewhere around 95,200. So the put writers are safe till the time index is trading around those levels of 10,300. But in today's session particularly, we've seen addition coming in for strikes like 10,700. That's the call strike. Even the 10,600 call strike has just about seen meager open interest addition. But on the put side, major addition today once again has been seen for strike 10,400 and also the 10,500. The range is 10,500 on the upside and 10,000 on the lower side. But it's all going to be about Bank Nifty today as the weekly contracts expire. If you go by the range, what is one looking at? The maximum OI concentration is at the 25,000 put strike and the 25,700 call strike. So it looks like, Agam, the expiry, it's a very wide range. But if you go by the trends also, so far we've seen a lot of addition coming around the mark of 25,300 and 25,400.
Of course, we're also watching out for a lot of these pharma stocks. So in terms of open interest, Divi's Laboratories, no price for guessing there. It stands out in today's job trade because the stock has moved up substantially. In fact, up as much as 16%. It's gained 20% in open interest, but there's yet another pharma counter today, which is also looking at fresh longs. That's Ajanta Pharma, moving up by another 3.7% with open interest increase of as much as nearly 10%. Hexaware, of course, on the back of earnings. Canara Bank and Container Corp also moving substantially when it comes to the future space. But in terms of unwinding, and I'm sure you won't have too much Oh, actually, you do. V-Guard Industries. This is after we saw a substantial increase in OI yesterday. There's some amount of unwinding happening in V-Guard. So down as much as 8.6% in open interest. HDIL, Nestle India, Andhra Bank, and Cholamandalam, among the few others, which are looking at some amount of decline in OI. But I think today's day of trade probably belongs to Divi's Laboratories, given the fact that we are looking at so much long build-up in that.
Well, clearly, it's all about the pharma space. If yesterday was the PSU banking space, today the Nifty Pharma Index is your top sectoral gainer as well. That's gained nearly 2.5%. But as Agam highlighted, Divi's Laboratories up 16%. And look at the futures, open interest up nearly 20%, telling you there are some fresh longs being built up there. All right, before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. Or you can also write to us on Twitter, Facebook with AskPQ hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts for the day then. Ashish Chaturmota of Sanctum Wealth and Bhavin Mehta of Daulat Capital joins us on the show now. Good morning to both of you gentlemen and appreciate you joining us today on Bloomberg Quinn. Bhavin, let me come to you first. Well, the trends are pretty positive if one has to look at Nifty, and yesterday was the day when Bank Nifty also surpassed its all-time high levels. Today being the Bank Nifty options weekly contracts expiry day, what's the kind of range that one can watch out today?
With Bank Nifty weekly expiry, I believe the more or less the index will continue to trade in this particular range. However, the strong OI built up that we have observed on futures front yesterday, close to about 21% is definitely going to be the major positive for the bank index over a short period of time. So for today, we are looking in the Bank Nifty to expire in this particular range around 24,500. I believe that overall move will continue to remain strong. So 25,400 to 500 continues to remain a very good level for Bank Nifty as of now.
Okay, Ashish, I'm going to come to you on this one. When it comes to the Nifty, you're expecting some amount of consolidation, but you remain fairly constructive.
Yeah, so Agam, morning. Yes, since 9,700, which was the last expiry,
Right.
we have been mentioning very aggressively that the markets are going to hit 10,500 mark, and that is what exactly we have observed. I think now, after a stronger up move, it doesn't change the trend, but obviously now I think there can be some consolidation. It doesn't mean we are going to see a steep correction. It can be a time consolidation rather than a price correction, because if you look at the data, clearly at 10,200, 10,300 puts, we are continuously seeing a good amount of put writing happening, but at the same time we are seeing at the money call options being written. So that clearly indicates that in a shorter term, markets might see a consolidation, which is very, very healthy, because if you want to see a next uptick, market has to really consolidate, attract shorts to create a shorter position on the belief that markets are topping out.
If there's a bit of correction of 100 or 150 points on Nifty, would you recommend anyone to create fresh longs, because the long-term momentum seems to be on the upside?
Very much. I think very much possible. In fact, I think the immediate hurdle is 10,500. If it consolidates in a range between 10,350 to 10,500, that will be very, very healthy for the market, because it will immediately give an upside till 10,800 is what I believe. So in a shorter term, I expect it is going to be very, very stock specific. As you were discussing, pharma as a space looks very promising. I think today Divi's Lab has started showing the first sign of that strength.
Right.
I think you are going to see going forward Janta Pharma, Cadila, Aurobindo Pharma, stocks like this can deliver from these levels 10 to 12% in a very short span of time. So I think sector churning will be a key at this point of time.
Right.
All right, so it looks like a stock-specific market, but let's shift our focus to options corner now and get you some option strategies. Bhavin has a bull call spread, but let's first know what it exactly means. A bull call spread is employed when one expects a moderate up move in a security. In this strategy, a call option of a certain strike is purchased and a call option of a higher strike is simultaneously sold. Bhavin, over to you. Take us through your option strategy for the day.
Okay, so we are recommending Nifty 10,500 call as a buy recommendation, which is currently trading at 98 rupees. At the same time, we are recommending to sell 10,700 call, which is the OTM strike call, around currently trading somewhere in the range of 32. Last time around, we were very fairly positive on the Nifty, and we believe that the current momentum on the index will continue, and probably a break about 10,500 should ideally lead to a good amount of uptick coming in for Nifty, especially with banking, pharma. I mean, the entire engine has started to perform, so most of the sectoral indices are witnessing good amount of strength. So this is definitely going to be a very positive move on the market. At the same time, on downside, 10,300, 400 puts are witnessing good amount of addition. So that has created a new base for the index. So I believe one can continue to remain long on the indices.
All right, Ashish, you have spoken about some amount of consolidation, but for a compulsive trader out there who has to place a position here, would you recommend a bull call spread like Bhavin, or would you recommend going short on a strangle or a straddle?
No, I think then bull call spread makes a sense, because overall we are positive and we believe that even we don't expect a huge amount of consolidation. It can be a very short-term consolidation. So I think keeping that in mind, I think ideally a bull call spread makes a sense. Buy a 10,500 call option, and to reduce the cost, write a 10,800 call option to reduce the cost. And I think 10,500, 10,800 call options becomes a good strikes to create this bull call spread.
Okay.
All right, so those were a couple of the option strategies for the day, but let's also talk about some active stock futures then. If you could just pull up Infibeam, that stock's seen a good surge in today's trade. In fact, it is trading with gains of almost 8 to 9%. I'm talking about Infibeam. There you go. Not much of build-up seen on the open interest side, but the stock on the underlying is trading with gains of 9%. Bhavin, on the charts, is there any fresh breakout that you're seeing on Infibeam? Can one take a long position here?
Infibeam has witnessed good amount of consolidation, and post the same, I mean, we have seen good consolidation happening in the stock in the range of 125 to 130, and post this, the move in today's trade is very strong. We need to see how it ends the day. However, one can continue to remain long or probably create long position in this particular counter. On upside, we believe till the time now level of 130 continues to remain a strong support. It can move higher. Since it is moving with a strong OI, which is close to about 630 crores, 630, 640 crores on the open interest front, which is quite high. Some amount of consolidation is needed. Nonetheless, stock can move closer towards level of 160 to 170 in short period of time. So this is a short-term call, and continue to remain positive on Infibeam as of now.
Okay, we've had volumes for Bajaj Auto right now, and we also have Yatin Mota joining us, who is in conversation with Bajaj Auto's management. Yatin, over to you.
Thanks for that, Agam. Sir, Yatin here from the research side. If you could tell us, in terms of the overall domestic demand picture, how has been the month of October, and also moving forward, how do you see the domestic demand, especially the motorcycle segment, pan out?
So October demand has been good in that sense. So if I was to look at it for the entire festive period, I would say that one had a very good Dussehra festival. But Diwali was reasonable, and if I was to take into account the entire festive period, that's September, October, we have seen a growth of about 15% on the retails. Now, for us, what's heartening to note is that the success of the new products that we have launched. We had launched the CT with the electric start in August and the Platina in September. Both these two products have done exceedingly well, and that's what's taken us up in our market share in that segment. As well as what I would say heart-noting for us is the fact of the sales of the CVs and the three-wheelers.
Okay. Sir, in the last 1 or 2 months, I've noticed the fact that the export markets have seen a good recovery. In fact, they are growing better than the domestic market. So for the next couple of months, do you think this trend is here to stay?
I would say that in the next 2-3 quarters, you would see domestic as well as exports growing in tandem.
Okay.
Overall, I would estimate H2, my overall numbers would be in a growth of about 20%. This is driven by two facts. One is the recovery in Nigeria, the success of the new markets that we have entered into, and in India, in the domestic market, I would say the success will come from, among other things, the Platina and the electric start CT. Plus, in the fourth quarter, we would be coming up with the new Avenger. And also, right now, what's in work in progress is a product introduced in the commuter space.
Okay, Kevin, I would also like to ask, specifically about the export market. Since you are saying that Nigeria is doing well, what about markets like Sri Lanka and Egypt, where you have a significant amount of revenues coming in? Because Sri Lanka, there was a news report saying that there might be some ban implemented on the three-wheeler sales, and probably Egypt is also volatile in terms of the political issues there. So, in terms of the outlook for those markets, how do you see them shaping up moving forward?
So I would put, as far as Sri Lanka goes, traditionally it had been a very important component of our overall exports. But over the last year or so, I would say that Sri Lanka is really not contributing too much in the overall pie.
Okay.
And if you look at Q2 also, you'll see it is Bangladesh that has taken over from Sri Lanka. So this month, for example, in Bangladesh, we sold over 80,000 motorcycles.
Kevin, one final question from my side. If you look at the commodity costs currently, probably it comes with a lag effect. So moving forward, any price hikes that the company plans on its products, especially the new launches, because aluminum, steel, in general, all the commodities are moving higher. So is there any immediate impact that you would like to pass on to customers?
I would say that as a policy and as a past practice, I would say that cost increase are definitely passed on, because that doesn't come from the company point of view. And I would say that at the appropriate time for the cost increase, we would pass on. And the cost increase would be approximately the range of 300 to 500 rupees of motorcycle, which can be absorbed by the customer.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for speaking to Bloomberg Quint and taking out your time. With that, it's back to Agam and Navneet in the studios.
Thanks, Yatin, for that. That was the management of Bajaj Auto. But it's time for us to address a couple of our viewer queries now. And Girish Kumar has joined us live on Facebook. Girish's question is, kindly give me a good money-making idea today. Ashish, do you have one?
So I have few, but the first one will be Tata Elxsi. Looks very promising, has seen 6% open interest addition today. Double bottom formation on daily weekly charts, which is a good confirmation. One can initiate a long, keep a stop below 850, and upside looks good for 930, 940 levels as a target. Petronet looks quite promising. Again, a strong build up. I think 262 should be kept as a stop loss, and an upside has a potential to cross 278 levels.
Okay, we have another query on Twitter as well. This one is from Shan, and he wants to ask us about V-Guard. Can we pull up what V-Guard is doing right now? I remember it is showing some amount of unwinding, and yes, there you go. 8.5% decline in open interest. The stock really isn't doing too much. Bhavin, can I come to you on this one? What can Shan do with V-Guard now?
V-Guard has given a good amount of, strong breakout in the current expiry. We have seen good amount of OI addition. This expiry, it has added close to about 50% in the OI as compared to what it has started in the previous expiry. So we are looking at about 75 crores in open interest. And overall, I believe that stock continues to remain under a strong momentum. So continue to hold on to the long position. Believe that stock will move closer towards level of 260 to 270 in short period of time. Good stop loss should be kept around somewhere around level of 205 for the counter. So continue to hold on.
All right, so if you're holding V-Guard, you can continue to hold on. Today seems to be a little bit of profit booking day, but I remember the stock has been pretty active in the past few sessions, and yesterday there was a lot of open interest build up. So today is the day for unwinding on V-Guard. Let's take another query. This one comes from YouTube. Manohar Gupta has written to us. He wants to know the target price for SBI and any scope for growth. Manohar, we'll only address the technical question here. Ashish, what should be the target price on State Bank of India?
So State Bank of India, I think 312 should be kept as a stop loss. Stock has a potential to cross 340, 345 zone. So I think at current levels, one can initiate with a stop below 312 levels.
Okay, one more live query. This one is on Twitter from Shivram, and he wants to get an idea of what Tata Steel can do going forward. Can we also pull up what Tata Steel is doing right now in terms of the futures November series? Yes, about a 2% increase in open interest, but the underlying itself is declining by less than 0.5%. Bhavin, again, this is over to you. What can Shivram do with Tata Steel?
We continue to remain positive on metals name. Tata Steel should be held on. While post numbers stock has reacted negatively, came down from somewhere around level of 730 to now close to about 700. I believe that 680 to 690 range will continue to remain good support for the counter. Good amount of OI earlier, and there is no major shorts observed in this particular counter, so definitely hold on to the long. Any break above 740 will be a fresh positive trigger for the counter. So
Right, so that's the view coming in on Tata Steel. You can look to hold on to your position, if any, if you have on Tata Steel. One more question comes on Facebook. Rajdeep Puttatunda has written to us. He's asking, what's the future of Bharti Airtel? Is it a good hold right now? Once again, just a caveat here, Rajdeep, we're only giving you technical advice. Ashish, Bharti Airtel and Idea, both these stocks have been pretty active in the October series. They registered good growth. In yesterday's session, Bharti was up 9%. Now, I believe even Idea is doing pretty well in today's trade. But Rajdeep question is on Bharti. If he's holding a position, should he hold on? Can he expect higher levels?
Yeah, I think so. See, broadly, we have seen a very strong build-up of positions, and I think whenever we have seen profit booking, it has come with a very low volume, very low OI reduction, clearly indicating that longs are holding on to their positions. And I think till we don't see a clear move below 520, there is no reason to exit this positions, because I think the trend is going to be clearly on upside. The stock has a potential to cross 575, 580, which was its previous all-time high level. So I think another 5 to 7% from current levels looks very much possible in Bharti Airtel.
All right, so let's move on to our experts' strategies for the day. Bhavin, I'm going to come to you. What are you recommending to our viewers?
Positive on pharma sector as a whole. After a long time, we have seen good moves coming in for stocks like Sun Pharma. We have recommended long at the start of this series. Continue to remain on the long side with stop loss of 533 on Sun Pharma, target price 573 and 595. Also long on Aurobindo Pharma, target close to about 825, stop loss of 745. So both on the long side.
All right, so those were a couple of strategies from Bhavin. Ashish, do you have any more strategies?
So, see, we have already discussed about Cadila, Tata Elxsi. Apart from that, I think Arvind is one stock which looks very interesting to us. The stock has been consolidating for a long time, and we are seeing some amount of uptake in the data. So clearly, I think this is one stock with a stop below 400. Looks very much looks good for 430, 435 levels on upside.
All right, so those are some of the strategies coming in from our experts in today's day of trade. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show.
Well, thanks very much for watching, but stay tuned for more news and updates to Bloomberg Live.